All right, so one of the things that keeps coming up over and over again is this whole world of AI. And
Absolutely, yeah.
and specifically, we've got some info here about this SAP AI masterclass from
It's
Sequence.ai.
interesting.
For you, the learner out there who's saying,
Yeah.
okay, AI, I get it, it's a big deal, but SAP AI, like,
Mm,
what is that all about, and why should I care?
right. Yeah, no, and I think it is a good question to ask because we hear AI all the time, but this is
Yeah.
a little bit more specific.
Yeah,
And it's interesting because, like you said, AI is huge right now.
it
I mean,
is
we see it everywhere.
everywhere.
And when you look at sources like LinkedIn, for example,
Yeah.
they're calling AI the top emerging job, which I think
Yeah.
it makes sense when you see the numbers,
Right,
right?
and numbers are crazy. Like 74% annual growth in AI roles.
Yeah.
And so resources like this masterclass
Yeah.
offer a really structured way,
A guided path
a guided path,
to gain that expertise.
which could lead to some really exciting opportunities.
Absolutely. I mean, it's a chance to be on the forefront of this technological revolution. But today we're cutting through the noise to look at how SAP is handling AI. We're doing a deep dive into what they call SAP Business AI.
Yeah, and for those of you who are trying to figure out, how AI is moving beyond the hype and becoming part of the software that runs businesses, this is the deep dive for you. We want to get under the hood of SAP's AI strategy across its applications.
All right, so looking at what we have here, it looks like there are three areas to explore. First, how is SAP weaving AI into its applications and portfolio? Second, we need to look at Joule SAP's Generative AI Copilot and how that impacts the user experience. And lastly, we'll explore the SAP AI Foundation. This looks like a technology that underpins all of this and ensures it's reliable and responsible. Ready?
Absolutely. It's going to be fascinating to see how such a major player is tackling the AI revolution and what it means for, businesses like yours.
So first up, let's look at the basics of SAP Business AI. SAP is making a big push towards cloud ERP, and their SAP Business AI seems to be closely tied to that. Can you give us a sense of why?
Sure, SAP's move to the cloud isn't just about where the software is, located. It's about creating an environment that is agile and can evolve.
Okay, yeah.
The cloud is the perfect launchpad for innovation. You get seamless updates, the massive computing power AI needs, and easy integration of new tech like SAP Business AI across the board. All this is much more difficult with on-premise systems.
Right. It's not just tacked on as an afterthought. It's core to their cloud strategy. And
Oh,
they have
yeah.
those three principles guiding their AI solutions: relevant, reliable, and responsible. So starting with relevant, what does that actually look like for someone using SAP Business AI?
So relevance to SAP means the AI is useful and accessible within the tools you already use every day. It's not a separate platform you need to learn or some feature tucked away somewhere. SAP Business AI is being built directly into existing applications.
And this is where Joule comes in, right? As a user, you'll experience this relevant AI through Joule.
Right. Joule is SAP's generative AI copilot. It's a very natural way for you to talk to SAP systems.
Okay.
The idea is no more clicking through menus or remembering commands. You can just, you describe what you need, ask a question, or give a command like you would a coworker.
I can see how that changes how people use these systems. You just tell your ERP what you want instead of a bunch of clicks. They even say that hundreds of millions of users could get a lot more efficient. That's a huge impact. How do they make that natural language part so effective?
It has to understand what you mean, not just what you're saying.
Right.
The AI needs to understand your intent, even if you aren't using the right technical terms.
Okay.
That's what makes the AI relevant to you and boosts your productivity.
So it's not just a fresh coat of paint. It actually makes these applications more capable, leading to better results for businesses. How does AI improve those core processes like recruit to retire or source to pay?
So let's take source to pay. AI can analyze data like past performance pricing trends and even risk to help you find good suppliers, negotiate and automate invoice handling, and even predict issues, before they happen, or take recruit to retire. AI can help write job descriptions, go through applications, personalize onboarding, and even identify development opportunities for current employees.
I mean, AI is really about data, and SAP handles so much business data already. They combine this with best practices in other systems, all powered by these large language models. For our listeners who might not know, what are those, and why are they important here?
Large language models are really powerful, AI trained on massive amounts of text,
I see.
so they can understand and create language like we do. This is crucial for features like Joule, which allow that natural interaction, but it's also key for analyzing all that business data to, uncover insights and automate things we couldn't do before.
They say this AI is grounded in the truth of customer data and uses generative AI with real-time information for accuracy. I think that's a key distinction because we hear about AI hallucinating or making stuff up. Why is real-time data so important for business users?
In mission-critical stuff, accuracy and reliability are everything. You can't have operations relying on AI that's just making things up. By grounding AI in real-time business data, SAP aims to reduce the risk of hallucinations or inaccuracies you see in more general AI models. This makes the insights and automation relevant and trustworthy for your business.
Makes sense. So that's relevance. Now, what about reliability? How does SAP ensure business AI can be trusted day in and day out?
This is where SAP's history and experience in enterprise software come in. SAP Business AI is built on their expertise, their standards, and their commitment to enterprise readiness. It builds on their legacy.
Okay, so it leverages that trust they've already built. They talk about the veracity, accuracy, and availability of SAP Business AI. What does that mean, practically speaking?
It means reliability is more than just the AI working without errors. It's about making sure the information is accurate and trustworthy, that the system is always available when you need it, and that you can be confident in the AI features integrated into your essential tools.
Right, it's the backbone of your business, so it has to be reliable. Now, for responsible, which is super important given all the talk about the ethics of AI, what's SAP's basic approach to this?
SAP is really emphasizing AI ethics, and they're aligning it very closely with their company values. They're really committed to keeping humans involved in the AI.
Hey.
Humans are in control of decisions, even when AI is providing insights or automating tasks.
They also talk about addressing bias, ensuring transparency, and being mindful of data privacy and security, all big issues for anyone using these technologies.
Right. SAP knows that bias can sneak into AI models, often accidentally from the data it learns from. They're actively working to, identify and reduce this. Transparency is also key, so you know how the AI is making its recommendations. And of course, their commitment to data privacy, protection, and cybersecurity, including regulations like the European AI Act, is essential.
I noticed they mentioned using their existing business authorization concepts to manage access and protect employees and partners, so they're not reinventing the wheel with security for AI.
It makes sense to use the security infrastructure and authorization they already have. This lets them govern who can access the AI-powered features in the data, which adds another layer of security and control.
And the overall goal is to integrate business data and these models ethically and securely. It's a delicate balance, but a crucial one.
Definitely. They know that the value and success of AI depend on keeping customer data safe and being ethical.
So we've covered the principles. Let's see how relevant AI works in the real world. They keep saying it's built into your applications, and Joule is the natural way to interact with it. What's the real impact of that natural interaction?
Well, think about new software. Traditionally, you'd spend tons of time learning the interface, the menus, and the commands. Joule aims to change all that. By describing what you need, SAP wants to make their software super easy, leading to faster adoption and quicker productivity gains.
And it's not just about looking simple. It's about making those core business processes better. The source lists general benefits of SAP Business AI. It's a central capability that lots of cloud customers use and goes through a rigorous ethics check. Why are those things important?
A central integrated system is important because it means you don't have to try to stitch together AI solutions from different vendors, which can be, a headache. And the ethical review process gives you confidence that what you're using has been developed responsibly.
Right. They also list existing AI capabilities like intelligent matching, document processing, recommendations, NLP, and forecasting. Those aren't new, but it sounds like generative AI is changing the game. We're talking content creation, summarization, code writing, even reasoning. What's the big deal about these generative AI features for businesses?
Generative AI opens doors that were either incredibly time-consuming or just impossible before.
I see.
The ability to automatically generate content, summarize huge amounts of data, and even help developers write code can make you so much more efficient and lets people focus on the important stuff.
They mentioned generative AI making previously unthinkable suggestions. That's interesting. It's like AI is proactively finding opportunities or seeing potential problems. And they expect this to bring real value across SAP's entire portfolio.
Yeah, the goal is to translate this advanced AI into real benefits for businesses of all types and sizes.
So the source gets more specific with examples of AI in action. Let's start with Cloud ERP, specifically the digital supply chain. They point out how time-consuming and error-prone verifying paper delivery notes can be. If you've ever dealt with logistics, you know the struggle.
Oh, absolutely. Think of a factory getting thousands of deliveries a day, each with piles of paperwork that someone has to check and enter into the system. It's super labor-intensive and prone to errors.
So SAP is using their document information extraction service, now enhanced with generative AI, within SAP Transportation Management. How does this help you?
Now the AI analyzes those documents, automatically grabs the important info like quantities, product codes, and dates, and puts it right into the SAP system. This automation means way less manual entry, fewer errors, and a faster process overall.
They say it can cut costs by 55%, and they give an example of a factory saving something like $300,000 a year. Those kinds of savings can really make a difference.
It shows how powerful even small AI automation can be. It streamlines those basic but often inefficient processes and frees up resources.
Now let's look at human capital management. They talk about how managers spend way too much time on admin tasks, like writing job postings.
Yeah, writing a good job description that attracts the right people takes a lot of time. It keeps managers from more strategic work and working with their teams.
SAP's solution is using generative AI in their HR tools. How does this give managers back their time?
Now, generative AI can draft job descriptions based on a few keywords or requirements from the manager. This saves a ton of time and lets them focus on the specifics of the role.
The gains sound great. They say it could save 2 hours per job description, which for a large company could mean $400,000 saved. And they talk about streamlining goal plans and interview questions and removing bias, which is key for fair hiring.
Reducing bias is a major plus. Generative AI can be trained to avoid language that might unintentionally exclude certain people, leading to a more diverse workplace.
Lastly, the SAP Business Technology Platform. They talk about how complex coding is and how much time developers spend reading documentation.
Right, it's a big time sink. Even good programmers spend ages writing and debugging code, and they're always checking documentation. It slows everything down.
So they're using AI for code generation and even test scripts. How does this speed up development for businesses using SAP?
The AI can look at what's needed for an app and write a lot of the code for the developers. It can even help with the testing, which is important for making sure the software works well. This lets developers focus on the complex and innovative parts of a project and speeds up everything.
They say it could reduce development time by 30%, which is huge. And it sounds like this is all tied into Joule and SAP Build, so it's easy for developers to use.
Right, it's right there in the tools they use every day, so they don't have to learn something completely new.
Okay, we've seen some examples of relevant AI. Let's go back to reliability. They say the AI Foundation within SAP BTP is crucial. Can you explain what the AI Foundation is and how it makes things reliable?
The AI Foundation in SAP BTP is like the engine for all their AI stuff. It combines cutting-edge AI tech with SAP's data and their business knowledge. It powers their own products and also lets customers and partners build their own AI solutions on SAP.
So it's a one-stop shop for AI in SAP. And to stay on top of things, they're partnering with leading AI and large language model companies. How does this help SAP customers?
By working with these companies, SAP can access the latest in AI and offer you a range of AI models to choose from. It means you get the best option for your specific needs, and they're not stuck with just one technology.
They also have this generative AI hub within SAP AI Core on SAP BTP. Can you explain that for those of us who aren't tech experts? It seems like it's meant to make generative AI easier to handle.
Think of the Generative AI Hub as a central place that simplifies generative AI. It gives you a secure way to access and use large language models from different providers, like GPT-4 and Falcon 4DB. It manages all the technical details of these models, making it easy for developers to use them without getting bogged down in the complexity.
It's like having a universal remote for all these different AI models, making sure they work together securely. And developers can even use multiple models at the same time through SAP AI Core or the AI Launchpad. Why would someone want to use more than one?
Well, different AI models have different strengths.
Okay.
Using multiple models allows developers to pick the best model for a specific task or even combine several models for a better result. And it's all done securely, following data privacy rules and SAP's security measures.
And it seems like SAP wants to make these models accessible to businesses, working with partners, and managing some deployments themselves to keep things compliant. This is great for businesses, especially those in highly regulated industries.
Definitely. They understand that businesses, particularly in those industries, need to know their data is safe and that the AI systems meet all the requirements.
And it seems like all their upcoming generative AI features will use this hub, which shows how much they're investing in this technology. Now, they talk about the need for foundation models specifically for business, like in finance, sales, and supply chain. Why aren't general purpose models enough?
General purpose models are very powerful, but they don't always understand specific business processes or terms or the way data is structured in companies. That's why SAP wants to fine-tune those models with their own SAP data and even create their own models built specifically with their business data.
So these business-specific models would be better at understanding the complexities of companies and answering specific questions like predicting payments or assessing supplier quality.
Exactly. By having models trained on business data, SAP aims to provide insights and automation that are more accurate, relevant, and helpful for your business decisions.
We've covered relevance and reliability in SAP's AI strategy. What about that third principle, responsible AI? The source mentions how important it is for tech partners to have high ethical standards. Why is this so critical?
Because if a company messes up with data privacy or uses AI that's biased, it can seriously hurt their reputation and customer trust. And then there's the bigger issue of AI's impact on society. There are real concerns about fairness, transparency, and even human rights.
SAP says they know how big of an impact AI can have, and they announced an ethical framework for AI back in 2018. Can you summarize the principles of this framework?
SAP's AI ethics are based on 4 principles: human agency and oversight in AI decisions, addressing bias and discrimination in AI models, transparency and explainability in AI systems, and fostering a free and empowered society through responsible AI use.
So let's break those down. What does human agency and oversight mean in practice?
It means making sure that people are still in control, especially when AI is making decisions. People should be able to understand and change AI recommendations or actions if needed, especially when it comes to important business decisions.
And addressing bias and discrimination is a huge concern with AI. How's SAP tackling that?
They're working hard to prevent unfairness and discrimination in their systems. They're being very careful about the data they use to train models, using techniques to find and reduce bias, and constantly checking how the AI is performing to catch any unintended bias.
Transparency and explainability.
Yeah.
It's not enough for AI to just give an answer. You need to know how it got there. How is SAP approaching this?
They're focused on being open about how they develop AI and on building systems whose decisions make sense to users. This builds trust and makes it easier to figure out what happened if something goes wrong.
And lastly, fostering a free civic society that empowers humans. That's a big goal. How does SAP see its role in this?
It shows that SAP knows AI can affect society in a big way. They want to use AI to empower people, create positive change, and make the world fairer.
They mentioned that they're putting these principles into action with a global AI ethics policy, an internal ethics committee, and an external advisory panel. It seems like they're serious about this.
Yeah, they have a system for ensuring that ethics are considered throughout the development of their AI. They also work with outside experts and participate in industry groups to stay on top of things.
Yeah. It's also good to see that they're paying attention to government policies and regulations, like the EU AI Act and the US AI Bill of Rights. That shows they're thinking ahead.
Absolutely. They know that following regulations and staying ahead of the curve is key to building trust in their AI solutions.
Ultimately, SAP says their AI ethics are about putting people first, and that leading in this area is a core part of their culture. That's a strong statement.
It is. They believe developing AI in a way that benefits people and aligns with their values is paramount. They have strict review processes and keep humans in the loop to make sure that AI is doing what it should be.
And they emphasize how carefully and confidentially they handle customer data. That reassurance is really important in today's world.
Absolutely. Data privacy and security are crucial for building trust, especially with sensitive business information.
This has been a great deep dive into SAP Business AI. What are the key takeaways for our listeners?
SAP Business AI is about making their software smarter with relevant, reliable, and responsible AI.
Yeah.
They're using Joule, their generative AI copilot, to change how we interact with software, and they've built a solid ethical foundation with the SAP AI Foundation. This could bring big improvements in efficiency, productivity, and open up all sorts of possibilities for businesses.
It sounds like SAP is going all in on AI to make their products better and help their customers handle the challenges of modern business. Hopefully, this gives our listeners a good grasp of their AI strategy.
It shows that AI adoption is not just about the technology itself, but about integrating it, making it trustworthy and keeping it ethical.
So as AI keeps advancing, think about those principles of relevance, reliability, and responsibility. How can we make sure AI benefits everyone? That's something we all need to keep in mind. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.